Batman, Spider-Man, Wolverine. Some of the most iconic superheroes borrow their powers from real animals. But nature mutates harder than the comics ever could. Imagine a bug, barely the size of a grain of rice, producing a sound as loud as a freight train, using nothing but its privates. Or a frog caught on camera blasting fire through its nostrils. And then there's the animal, which doesn't just regrow its tail. Cut off its leg, spinal cord, or even a piece of its brain, and it'll grow right back. Honestly, even Deadpool would be jealous. From suicidal ants that explode and spray toxic glue to trap and kill intruders, to shrimp that shoot explosions hotter than the sun. We're about to meet the animal kingdom's real-life superheroes. No CGI, no capes, just freaky, natural upgrades. Let's dive in. 20. Mr. Fantastic's creepy cousin. If Mr. Fantastic ever had a weird distant cousin hiding in a cave, it would be the American whip spider. This spooky-looking creature doesn't stretch to save the world, but it does use its ridiculously long front limbs to box, stab, and smack anything that comes near. Living in caves and humid forests from South America to Texas, the whip spider has a body like a flattened crab and front legs that are so long they look like antennae. But don't be fooled. These legs are actually loaded with thorny tips and lightning-fast reflexes. It uses them to trap cockroaches, crickets, and even hummingbirds. It doesn't need venom. Its reach and grip do all the work, like a horror version of Muhammad Ali. But here's more. Those long legs also work like radar antennas. They're covered in sensors that let the spider feel around like Daredevil in pitch-black caves, sensing vibrations and movement better than your phone's motion detector. 19. Hawkeye with gills. Hawkeye may hit bullseyes from rooftops, but the archerfish takes the shot underwater, through air, and still lands headshots on bugs. This river sniper hovers just below the surface and spits out a jet of water to knock down insects sitting on overhanging leaves. It calculates distance, wind resistance, and target movement in real time. No gadgets required. The water jet is so precise that the fish can hit insects up to 2 to 3 meters away, adjusting the force depending on the target's size and distance. Researchers found that it even compensates for light refraction, meaning it corrects for how water bends the image, like a real-life physics nerd with a built-in aim assist. If Hawkeye had to give up arrows and shoot spit instead, he'd want to be this fish. 18. The basketball fish. If Ant-Man had a backup power to instantly puff up like a balloon and grow armor, he'd probably look like the porcupine pufferfish. Normally the size of a small football, this fish can inflate to almost twice its size, turning into a floating spiny nightmare the moment it senses danger. But it's not just puffed up pride. When inflated, its body becomes covered in long, needle-sharp spines that stick out in all directions. For predators with small mouths, sorry, you're not biting through this balloon. And even if you're a bigger one, good luck choking on a floating cactus. What makes it weirder is that this fish inflates using water, not air, gulping massive amounts through its mouth and storing it in its expandable stomach. Think waterbed with spikes. Also, some porcupine puffers carry tetrodotoxin, the same poison found in fugu, one of the deadliest natural toxins on Earth. So even if something does eat it, it might regret the meal instantly. Before proceeding to our next selection, we invite you to explore our video on 20 most powerful creatures on planet Earth. Now, back to our list. 17. 2 heads are better than 1. Loki, the master of illusions, might be proud of this one. This desert-dwelling lizard from Australia has one of the strangest superpowers in the animal kingdom. A fake head. Seriously. Perched on the back of its neck is a spiky bump that looks exactly like a second head. When a bird or predator goes in for the kill, the thorny devil lowers its real head and raises the fake one. The attacker gets a mouthful of tough armor, while the real head stays safe and hidden. But that's just its first trick. This lizard is built like a mini tank. Its entire body is covered in hard, spiny armor, which not only looks terrifying but also makes it nearly impossible to swallow. And now, the real showstopper, it drinks water through its skin. Its body is covered in thousands of microscopic grooves that collect moisture from dew, rainfall, or even wet sand, and channel it right to its mouth. That means it can drink just by standing still. 16. Hulk's strength in a bug's body. Hulk smashes, but this bug pushes over 1,000 times its own body weight. Not out of rage, but for love. Meet the horned dung beetle, a tiny insect with the proportional strength of a literal superhero. This beetle has been recorded dragging 1,140 times its body weight, the equivalent of a human pulling 6 double-decker buses with no warm-up. It's officially the strongest animal on Earth, relative to size. And what's it dragging? Dung. Yep, poop. Why the muscle? Because females dig tunnels under dung piles to lay eggs. When 2 males show up at the same time, it's gladiator mode. The beetles fight underground, locking horns and wrestling until one gives up. Only the strongest gets to stay and mate. It's not just brute strength, their body is built like a biological bulldozer, with a horned head for ramming, reinforced legs, and a stubbornness that could rival Hulk's rage. 15. Spider-Man with glue guns. Spider-Man's got his webs, but this soft-bodied bug fights with slime cannons that shoot out of its head. The velvet worm might look squishy and harmless, but when it's time to catch dinner, it goes full Rambo. Hiding in rotting logs and leaf litter, this creature fires out twin streams of sticky glue, blasting bugs up to a foot away. The goo hardens on contact, trapping the prey in place like nature's duct tape. Once the target stops moving, the worm strolls over and injects digestive spit, liquefying the victim from the inside out. Yes, this little adorable slime torpedo is a biological glue gun with a side of acid. The velvet worm is a living fossil, meaning it's barely changed in over 500 million years. That's older than dinosaurs, and it's still winning bug battles without evolving past squirt and slurp. 14. Deadpool but underground. Like the mole rat, Deadpool feels very little pain and is essentially immune to cancer due to his regenerative abilities. The twisted biology? Totally mole rat approved. The naked mole rat looks like a hairless sausage with teeth, but beneath that weird exterior is one of the most medically fascinating animals on Earth. Scientists have discovered that this little creature is resistant to cancer, lives 9 times longer than a mouse, and barely feels pain at all. How? It's loaded with a substance called high molecular weight hyaluronan, which helps its tissues avoid forming tumors. Its cells are incredibly efficient at repairing damage, and they don't divide uncontrollably. One of the reasons cancers form in humans. Even cooler, they live in underground colonies like ants, complete with queens, workers, and guards. They can survive without oxygen for up to 18 minutes and thrive in tight, toxic tunnels where most animals would pass out. 13. Built like Wolverine, eats like venom. This scruffy scavenger has Wolverine's healing powers and Venom's appetite for snakes, literally. The animal is famous for faking death, flopping on its side, tongue out, drooling, and smelling like roadkill. But what most people don't know, it also has a built-in immunity to venom. That's right, possums are naturally resistant to snake venom, including pit vipers like rattlesnakes and cottonmouths. Scientists discovered that possums produce a special peptide in their blood that neutralizes venom toxins, which is why they can eat venomous snakes like it's no big deal. One 2015 study even found that this peptide worked against black mamba venom, which is one of the most lethal toxins in the world. Let that sink in. This little marsupial could possibly shrug off what would kill an elephant. Possums are now being studied as a source of antivenom, and scientists are looking to use their secret sauce to develop better snakebite treatments. Trash panda? Try superhero lab rat. 12. The Jesus of the reptile world. If the Flash and Jesus had a pet, it would be this guy. The basilisk lizard, aka the Jesus lizard, has a power that turns head and breaks physics. It runs on water. Found in Central and South American rainforest, this lizard uses its oversized back feet, complete with skin flaps, to slap the water hard enough to keep its body above the surface. It hits the water at just the right speed and angle to create mini air pockets beneath each step. As long as it runs fast enough, usually around 5 feet per second, it stays above water for up to 15 feet before gravity says, "Nice try." Scientists have even studied this water walking in slow motion using high-speed cameras. The result? A reptile doing the equivalent of a ninja sprint across a swimming pool, something even humans can't replicate without help. And just like any superhero, the basilisk only uses its powers when it's in danger. 11th. Sonic Boom. Shrimp. If Black Panther and Iron Man combined forces to create a sea assassin, it would be the pistol shrimp. A tiny crustacean with a claw that fires bubble bullets at 60 miles per hour. This shrimp snaps shut so fast that it creates a bubble, and that bubble collapses with a shockwave strong enough to knock out or kill nearby fish, crabs, or anything unlucky enough to be in range. The sound of that snap, about 210 decibels, louder than a gunshot, making it one of the loudest creatures on Earth. But wait, there's more. When the bubble collapses, it briefly reaches temperatures of over 4,700 degrees Celsius, hotter than the surface of the sun. For a fraction of a second, it even produces a tiny flash of light. Yes, this shrimp basically creates underwater explosions for fun. 10. You touch, you die, dragon millipede. You think the Joker is chaotic? Say hello to the dragon millipede. A bright pink, chemical-spewing bug that looks like a cartoon villain and fights like it's been in a chemistry lab brawl. Found in Southeast Asia, this millipede has a flair for the dramatic. Its body is neon pink, nature's version of a flashing red light, and when it's poked or grabbed, it releases a cloud of hydrogen cyanide gas. The spray can burn skin, blind eyes, and kill small animals. Oh, and it smells like roasted almonds, right before it melts your face. But the dragon millipede is completely immune to its own toxic blast, walking through the chaos like a villain in a slow-motion explosion. It doesn't need laughter gas, it is the gas. 9. Fire-breathing toad. If Smog the Dragon and Pyro from X-Men decided to fuse into a little amphibian with a bad attitude, you'd get the viral fire-spitting toad that's been making the rounds online. In one jaw-dropping clip, this frog appears to blast fire through its nostrils. There's no verified species of frog known to breathe fire, yet, but we know some frogs release toxic, flammable compounds through their skin. Combine that with the right spark or possibly methane buildup, and well, nature sometimes glitches into fantasy mode. Whether it's real, misunderstood, or exaggerated, one thing's for sure. If any animal deserves a Marvel anti-hero origin story, it's the fire toad. 8. The walking health insurance. Like many superheroes and villains, Lizard from Spider-Man has the gift of healing and can recover fast from wounds that would end most creatures. But while Dr. Kirk Connors only dreamed of full regeneration, real-life salamanders have been doing it since the dinosaur days. No serum needed. Cut off a salamander's tail, it grows back. A leg grows back. Part of its spinal cord. Yep, it can repair that too. Even if you remove chunks of its heart, lungs, or brain, it regenerates the missing tissue like it's working with built-in blueprints. Scientists have been trying to decode this power for decades. The salamander's cells don't scar. They rewind to a flexible, baby-like state and rebuild what's missing. Human medicine is now using salamander DNA to understand how to regrow limbs or heal spinal injuries. If Marvel ever needs a new X-Men healer, they should call this little guy. He's basically walking health insurance. 7. Malaysian exploding ant. When Captain America said, "I can do this all day," the Malaysian exploding ant said, "No need, I'll just blow myself up instead." These tiny ants don't just fight for the colony, they die for it in the most dramatic way possible. When threatened, the ant flexes its abdomen so hard that it explodes, spraying a sticky, toxic yellow goo in all directions. This suicide attack glues intruders in place and often kills them, even if the ant doesn't survive the battle. It's not just defense, it's full-blown kamikaze loyalty. The goo comes from massive poison-filled glands, and the explosion is so violent that the ant literally rips its own body open to protect the hive. No backup, no retreat, just boom. Somewhere, Black Widow is nodding in approval. 6. Mystique would be proud of this. Everybody's favorite mutant, Mystique, is a great shapeshifter. She can physically change the formation of her cells at will to change the way she looks and sounds. But out in the wild, one 8-legged marvel might just outdo her. Meet the mimic octopus. Discovered in the late 1990s near Indonesia, this octopus can impersonate over 15 different species, from lionfish and flatfish to sea snakes and jellyfish. Not by changing costume, but by completely changing its shape, color, and movement style. Threatened by a predator, it flattens its body and glides like a toxic soulfish. Worried about getting bitten? It tucks its 6 arms and waves 2 around to look like a venomous sea snake. It even picks which animal to mimic based on the danger, like pulling up a disguised playlist in real time. Researchers believe it uses visual memory and pattern recognition far beyond what most invertebrate can do. Basically, it's like if Mystique had Google Translate and instant cosplay powers built in. 5. The Invisible Woman of the Ocean. She's a founding member of the Fantastic Four, and she can vanish with the flick of a thought. But Invisible Woman better make room for the reef squid. Found in tropical shallows near coral reefs, this squid doesn't just blend in with the background, it becomes the background. Using hyperactive chromatophores, tiny color-changing cells, Sepioteuthis can instantly shift color, texture, and pattern across its body like it's wearing digital camouflage. And it doesn't just use this for hiding, it uses it to communicate. While one side of its body shows calm, neutral tones to a squid bubbly, the other side flashes an aggressive pattern towards a threat. What's wild is how smooth and fast the transitions are. Scientists compare it to high-def projecting mapping. Its nervous system directly controls every pixel like chromatophore, creating pulsing rainbows, blinking stripes, or strobe light warnings in fractions of a second. 4. Banshee in bug form. What do you get when you put superhuman lungs, throat, and vocal cords together? The answer is a sonic scream. In the world of X-Men, Banshee's voice can break steel and blow enemies off their feet. In the insect world, the water boatman just laughs underwater and screams through its junk. Yes, this tiny freshwater bug, barely the size of a grain of rice, is officially one of the loudest animals on the planet relative to its size. It produces sound by rubbing its penis against its abdomen. A move so loud it reaches 92.2 decibels, about as noisy as a freight train passing you by. Scientists were baffled when they first recorded it. The equipment picked up high decibel pulses in calm ponds, and the source? A bug serenading with its lower half. This move is called stridulation, the same technique used by crickets and katydids. But the boatman's version is turbocharged. It's not just flexing, it's blasting sonic pickup lines loud enough to travel through water, even if predators are listening in. 3. Deadpool meets mission. Impossible. Take Deadpool's survival instincts, mix it with an escape scene from Mission Impossible, and you get the Spiny mouse. The only mammal on Earth that can shed its skin to escape danger and regrow it afterward like nothing happened. When caught by a predator, this little desert mouse doesn't fight or freeze. It tears its own skin loose and bolts. It can lose up to 60% of its back and survive, escaping while the attacker is left with a mouthful of fur and regret. The Spiny mouse regrows its skin, sweat glands, fur, hair follicles, and cartilage with no scarring. That's something even humans can't do naturally. Scientists studying its regeneration are hoping to unlock better skin grafts, burn treatments, and even scar-free healing in people. So, yeah, while regular mice freak out at cheese traps, the Spiny mouse is out here playing 4D survival chess. 2. The Thing, but with wings. If the thing from the Fantastic Four had a cousin that lived under rocks and could survive getting run over by a car, it'd be the diabolical ironclad beetle. Native to the western US, this beetle has an armor-plated exoskeleton so tough, scientists have to drill through it with steel bits. One test showed it could withstand over 39,000 times its body weight and pressure. That's like a human surviving a car crusher. The secret, its hardened wing covers, elytra, are fused together in a jigsaw-like pattern, which spreads out force and makes the beetle almost impossible to crush. Engineers are now studying this bug to design stronger planes, armor, and crash-resistant materials. Basically, it's a walking tank that fits in your hand. The Hulk would punch it and feel pain. 1. Rogue, but for real. Rogue from the X-Men absorbs powers from others. The Bdelloid rotifer takes that idea a little further. It absorbs DNA from everything around it. This microscopic critter lives in freshwater ponds and moss, and it's been around for millions of years without ever having sex. Instead of reproducing the old-fashioned